Hi friends, greeting from Kingsley the Trainer. In today's video, I'm going to discuss with you why there has been a rise in petrol and diesel prices in India. Come join with me. In India, petrol prices have reached about rupees 90 per litre in all the major cities and have crossed a century in cities like Mumbai, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Diesel prices are also rising at levels never seen before. Diesel price currently in Mumbai is rupees 88 per litre and in New Delhi it is rupees 80.97 per litre. The story unfolds. So before 2010, petrol and diesel prices were regulated by the Indian government. This means that the government had the onus to fix the fuel prices for retailers and had control over the price movements. Any major fluctuation in these prices used to lead to a backlash to the government. However, the government deregulated petrol prices in 2010 and diesel prices in 2014. Since then, petrol and diesel prices are directly linked to global crude prices. Henceforth, any rise in the international crude oil prices would lead to a corresponding increase in petrol and diesel prices and vice versa. This means that if crude prices fall, as was the case in February 2020 due to COVID, its prices should have also come down, which was not the case in India. Indian consumers paid more in particular than any other country because of increased central excise duties and state taxes on fuel. So now looking at the graph, you could see how the crude oil prices per barrel has been fluctuating from February 2020. So it was standing at $55.66 and now it's priced at $61.31 at the international crude oil market. So if you are looking at the graph, it fell in April 2020 when the COVID had started and it has slightly increased, and from then on it has not come down except for September 2020 where you could find that it was standing at 40.91 per dollar. But still again it moved up and now it's at $61.31 per barrel. The price increase was coupled with the production cuts by the oil producing countries like Saudi Arabia, which had announced to cut crude oil production by 1 million barrels per day for the remaining first quarter of 2021. This was done to keep the prices of petrol and diesel elevated. So you must be wondering, if the crude oil prices are deregulated and directly linked to global crude price fluctuations, why did the decline in global prices in February 2020 didn't reflect in Indian crude markets? The simple answer to this question is the levy of taxes by the government. With the start of a pandemic, India observed strict lockdown in the initial phase. The entire economy was at a standstill, leaving no room for revenue generation to the government. This was coupled with high government expenditure in providing relief to the COVID-hit economy and the poor. The price increase was coupled with the production cuts by the oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia, which had announced to cut crude oil production by 1 million barrels per day for the remaining first quarter of 2021. This was done to keep the prices of petrol and diesel elevated. You must be wondering, if the crude oil prices are deregulated and directly linked to the global crude price fluctuations, why did the decline in global prices in February 2020 didn't reflect in Indian crude oil markets? The simple answer to this question is a levy of taxes by the government. With the start of a pandemic, India observed strict lockdown in the initial phase. The entire economy was at a standstill, leaving no room for revenue generation to the government. This was coupled with high government expenditure in providing relief to the COVID-hit economy and the poor. Due to this, India's revenue from the GST collection, corporate and income tax inflow drastically reduced. In the middle of this chaos, the only light to the government was the revenue from petroleum and liquor. So to fund the additional cost towards relief and bridge the declined revenue gap, the government increased taxes on petrol and diesel to match the same at the pre-COVID levels. Hence, the consumer did not get the benefit of the declined global fuel price. Now looking into the figures, you could find how the taxes have been levied. right from 2014 and until 2021. For petrol, the excise rate was at 9.2 later at 2017, and now it's at 21.48. So the overall cost, which is including the VAT at 27% levied by the state government, is now standing at 32 rupees and 98 paise per liter. And again, for diesel, the state VAT is at 16.75%, and the overall cost for excise and state VAT combined together is at 31 rupees and 83 paise per liter. The centre has raised taxes on petrol by rupees 13 per liter and tax on diesel by rupees 16 per liter, which has the highest impact. Petrol prices mainly include the manufacturing cost of the fuel. On this base price, the central government levies central excise. On the top of this, dealers' commission and a percentage of VAT levied by the respective state government is added. The rate of state VAT is decided by each state and varies from state to state. Let us understand this through an example. For instance, in New Delhi, the petrol price from the refinery to the dealer is 33.65 per liter. In comparison, the central excise including dealers' commissioners alone rupees 36.24 per liter, which is more than the actual price. Besides this, an additional state VAT is levied, which is another 20.90 per liter. Hence, the tax component in New Delhi is around 170% of the base price. Such a situation is mirrored in most of the cities in the country. In Mumbai, tax incidence is even higher, leading to petrol price crossing the mark of rupees 100 per liter.